You look at the guys that are working, they all have a smile on their face. You ask yourself a question in the morning, do I have to go to work today? Or I'm ready to go to work today. I get to go to work today, right? Yeah. And I still wake up every morning at 3:30 and I love it.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the PacRim Podcast. Today, we are here at our new fab shop. It is such an exciting time and exciting facility. I'm thrilled to be joined today by our General Superintendent, Brian Podratz. Brian, could you start just by telling us how long have you been at PacRim, how you got started in the industry, and a little bit about your experience here?
Yeah, so I've been with PacRim Mechanical for 32 years now. Started as a 19-year-old. I'm a second-generation plumber. My dad started plumbing, and we lived in a small community, and I would be able to go to his job sites. He would take me to his job sites when I was like 10 years old. And I started plumbing actually when I was about 12. And crawling under houses.
That's against the law.
It was.
Can we say that on here?
It kept me out of trouble, I guess is what it is. Yeah. It kept me out of trouble, so he started having me do stuff, and then I was always messing around with the plumbing at the house, and just having fun as a kid, and then it just kind of grew from there. And I got into high school and didn't know really what I knew. I was going to the trades about my 10th grade year, so I started taking building trades classes in school and excelled at that. We built our own classroom, and I got recruited actually out of there doing some carpentry work, and then moved into mechanical. So I knew I wanted to be a mechanical contractor because it's in my family. My brother-in-law he's a CEO of a large mechanical contracting company. I worked for them for a little bit, and got laid off. And I was like, wow, this is tough, family business. And I came up with a new strategy, and found PacRim through like my brother. He knew one of our sheet metal guys at PacRim, and my strategy was just to come in and make myself an asset to the company so they could never get rid of me again, and just outwork everybody. And that's how I got where I'm at.
That's
it's
so
just
awesome.
Work ethic.
When you joined the company, what was it like? What was it like compared to your other experiences?
It was great because of the culture. The company's culture is what really brought me in, and it open book policy. You can go talk to anybody. Everybody's willing to teach you what you needed to know. And that really just drove me from there. And I was like a sponge. Yeah. And it grew, and everybody was excited and wanted you to grow. So that's what really got me going with this company, just to give it everything I had. Yeah.
I remember, so you've got 32 years here. I have 31, and I came in as a tradesman, and I came out to the job site, and you were there in one of my first projects, and you talk about outworking everybody. You were the most respected apprentice at the time, and the one everybody looked up to. And I remember looking up to you, and really enjoyed our time together in the field, and stuff that I learned from you, and it was fun working alongside you. Those were good days.
I remember you coming out NSI.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time I worked with you, and doing some underground. And it was just, I think, the attitude that we had. I remember you had the same attitude I did. It was, I'm volunteering for out of town work, overtime, Saturdays, didn't matter.
Right.
It was just, everything was company. Everybody has like a list of what's important to them, family, security, job security, things like that. Well, at that time I was 19 years old. It was PacRim was at the top of my list.
Yeah.
So that's what it drove me.
Yeah. And, I love how you're describing the culture of everybody was all in, and at that age and at that time, it's always been for both of us, but our career, and it just is this contagious feeling in the field when you're working along other people with this attitude. Agreed. That just builds momentum.
I think it's morale's up, and with morale being up and a good place to work, the good tools. They always provided good tools, good jobs. It was fun. I loved it. I loved being, the dirtier I got during the day, I just knew at the end of the day, it was like I did a good job. Yeah,
that's so cool. So now you are the general superintendent. The company has how many employees in the field, roughly?
Oh, right now we have 672.
Yeah, to be exact. That is a remarkable number of people to be responsible for.
Yes.
And not only that, you were instrumental in selecting the location for this fab shop, picking the building, laying it out, and building it and developing it. Can you talk a little bit about that process?
Oh yeah, I was scared to death. But that's what drives me, that fear, that anxiety, I thrive on it. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it before. It's what gets me up in the morning. Mm-hmm. And it was tough.
Yeah.
You think finding a building wouldn't be so hard, but it actually really is. And you're messing around with square footages and the design that we wanted, full drive around. And so just finding the building took a while.
Yeah.
And then the right size to make sure that we had the efficiency that we wanted to accomplish out of the field.
Yeah.
So
how long would you say the process was? I remember, it was,
I think
months
it took
and
about
months.
a year
about
to
a
find
year,
a building alone.
Yeah. And we looked at numerous buildings.
Yes.
And finally found this one. Then even trying to secure this building was quite a challenge. The owner was just kind of like, hey, take it or leave it. They just weren't super motivated to get a deal done, and it took a lot of negotiating to get it accomplished.
Yeah. I didn't do much of that part of it, that was Colin mostly doing that fun part. I was once we were in that mode of like, hey, I think we got a building, I went into design mode. That's where I just switched gears and started looking like, hey, how can I fit this space, and what do I need to get in here, and how will it work with our operations? Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the design. Like, what's great about it?
First and foremost, I think the number one thing for me was to provide a good working environment for our employees. And, when their morale's up and they have a good place to come to work, then, it comes back twofold to the company as far as productivity and efficiency.
Yeah.
So that was the number one thing, provide a good work environment for our people. Mm-hmm. And then, just with the pipe shop, the biggest stuff that's the priority, big steel pipe, getting it straight through. Mm-hmm. No turnarounds, no corners or anything like that, just in and straight out. So that was the main design. So we started there.
Yeah.
And then making sure we had enough of the bridges on the crane to, provide a bridge for each station through the cycle of fabrication. Yeah. So we weren't having to share anything. It was just efficient. And that was the main driver.
Yeah, you talk about the in and out, and we've got roll-up doors on the inside where material comes in, a material staging area, a crane there to get the material up onto the pipe profiler, and then through the weld stations, and then right out the other side. The layout is unbelievably efficient, or unbelievably is not the right word, but very efficient. And when you compare it to the shop that we came from, it's a paradigm shift, to say the least.
Absolutely, 100%. It was, we struggled in that shop, but we did amazing things out of that shop for a long time. We made it work. And there were some contractors that would come through and see what we accomplished through that shop, and they were blown away.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you guys are. And what I thought it really did for us was it taught us, on-time delivery, like the typical Toyota model, right? Efficiency, lean manufacturing.
Yeah.
So that's what we're striving for.
You mentioned that. I was just at a meeting with our CIG peer group partners last week, and they loved our old shop because they were able to tell their crews and their people, well, you have this big fancy shop and you're able to do so much, but look at what PacRim does with their very humble shop that we came from. And I'm so excited about the efficiency and what we're going to be able to do with this new shop. What comes to mind for you as you think about our capability and the things we're able to do coming out of here?
Well, I think just to benefit the guys on the front line, which is the field, to help them be efficient in the field. As you've been in the trenches with me. Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's tough out there. And sometimes you can only be as good as the general contractor that's running the job. So when that comes into play and we can make sure that our people are getting their material when they need it on time and without having to store anything, we can process it all here. We'll pick up some efficiency in the field, and it's safer. The safety is the number one for me on the shop, is a safe, clean work environment. And that's huge for us in the field.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the ventilation in here to keep smoke down.
Yeah, so it's a unique design. It's pushing everything from the other side of the shops, all the air, towards the carbon steel, because that creates the most dust. So we wanted to make sure that was it was pushing the right direction, so we didn't get the whole shop with any kind of smoke. Is basically dust, and getting that ventilation, HEPA filters, the right filtration for the safety of the crews, and really it was that having the control is another big step. Was we wanted to make sure, like, hey, if the air quality is bad, the field floor foreman can go push a button and ramp the fan up and get it cleaned up as fast as possible. So that was a nice little addition to the shop. That's
great. I liked what you were talking about, how our shop supports our people in the field. And I think about the complex projects that we work on. These are high stakes projects with tight timelines, tight job site constraints. Can you talk a little bit about how the shop supports those types of sites?
Well, I think, we have good collaboration from our field foreman to the shop foreman. And if they have an opportunity out in the field that's something that we didn't spool out or we weren't sure because of, buildings aren't square, things move around a little bit, the walls aren't totally straight and parallel down the hallway. So there's some adjustment. And I think with the field foreman having that communication between our detailing team and our shop foreman, we can make adjustments before they hit the field, and they can get out in front of it. And that's huge. Instead of typically in the past when we were working, we would run into the problem, brakes would hit out in the field and be like, okay, what do we do now? I got 20, 30 guys standing around. And that's not good in construction. So yeah, it's kind of like, I think that collaboration and getting through that stuff is huge for us. So
yeah, I agree. What are some of the standout capabilities of the shop that help position us as a leader in mechanical contracting across the region?
Well, I think it's Terry used to always say to us, we work for Terry, I've been 25 years, and he would come up, he was like a machine. He would say the same thing every single year. If you're comfortable where you're at, you're falling behind. So I that's engraved into my head big time, and I use it, and I talk to him about it all the time, and then and that's what drives being on the cutting edge. Always not on the bleeding edge, but on the cutting edge, and being out in front and having an advantage to our competitors there, and being with the AI and the computers and the softwares that are coming out and the machines and the that kind of stuff, getting that paperless and less steps, right? Try to minimize our steps, get it through the shop quicker, being more efficient, and get it to the field on time.
That's great. You talk about less steps and less paper. We have this new Stratus software, and we have these screens that are up at every station. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So yeah, the Stratus. So we kind of had the vision 15 years ago of what this could possibly become, and nothing was ever. The softwares were getting developed, and they weren't really ready. They didn't really have all the pieces. You might have a couple pieces, but it wasn't all the way there yet. And so we always stayed away from that, chasing that which would amount to a lot of work for us, right? We didn't want to go chasing something that wasn't proven or tested. And then I created some material delivery schedules for the plumbing side, the pipe side, and the sheet metal side had theirs that kind of mirrored ours. And when I went to go to a Stratus convention, and they popped it up on the screen for my first time seeing it, and I said, that's my delivery schedule. Someone stole my idea. So and then I knew, like, this is our product. This is what we need. This is how we build now. It's just in a different format. So I'm like, this is our tool.
Yeah, that is awesome. Let's talk about, shift gears, let's talk about the 3 different shops that we have in there. Could you talk about the 3 different types of material that are processed in this shop?
Yeah, so pretty much you've got the steel is the heartbeat going through there, because that's the big stuff. We want to make sure that was the most straight through process. But hydronic piping, we do stainless steel, welded. We have on the copper side, we call it our copper shop. That's most of the thing we do through there is copper. We build gang bass, all the plumbing systems, hanger systems, which is a big part of our work, actually, when you really look at it, break down the budget, this is hangars. That's our first step going in, and we produce all of our hangars out of here. And then we have on the clean side is our process piping side, which is a huge improvement that we've had, overall for the company.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. So in our process shop, we have kind of a dirty area and a clean fab area. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, we just wanted to separate it because we do high-level work for semiconductors and things like that are very strict, and FDA, piping that it's validated, and we wanted to make sure that we're providing a good product to our clients in the field, so that we needed that clean space to make sure that the quality of our work stays to their standards, basically.
Yeah. So it's some things that stand out to me when I think of that space that are just the right thing to do. It's positively pressured. The dirty space is positively pressured to the other shops. It's concealed floor to ceiling walls. What is we have 27-foot height?
32 feet.
32 feet top to bottom. So we have a full height wall that separates our stainless area from both our carbon steel and copper areas. And that room is entirely positively pressured to the other areas to make sure no dirt comes into either of the stainless areas. And then on top of that, the clean fab area is also positively pressured to the dirty side of the stainless shop.
Right. Yeah. So that cross contamination is the most important thing when you're doing stainless work. So that was that design for that. We did a separate fan system on that side, full height walls. Everything's positive pressure. It keeps any kind of carbon, since we do have carbon under the same roof, under control.
Yeah. And then the clean fab area, could you talk a little bit about the provisions that are in there?
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's amazing. That room is great. It's got the epoxy floors. It's a clean room. It looks like we were going into one of our clients' facilities and working in their facility. So that's how we built it, because that's what we build those facilities for. So our piping systems for those facilities. So it made sense to do it. Yeah. And then, just to be able to bring our clients in and say, we care about your facilities.
Definitely. Yeah. We want the work that's coming out of here to be absolute best in class in the industry. And when it's fabricated in a clean environment like that, there's no question. It's absolutely great. And like you mentioned, it's got the epoxy floors, it's got epoxy paint on the walls. The ceiling tiles are vinyl coated. The ceilings is it 14 feet high? Is that right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So it gives us lots of room to work. It's got a vinyl roll-up door where we could pull skids in there and work on them in a clean environment. It's got low wall returns. And just great general provisions. It's not a certified clean room by any means. It's just a clean fab area. So certainly a great offering.
Just think about all the stuff that we've done in the field. We've always created some kind of clean environment. So that's all we've done here. So it's a great addition to our shop and facilities.
Yeah. So what's it been like leading the team here? What qualities or expertise do you look for in a great prefab technician that works in the shop? Tell us about that.
So I've always had a strategy coming from being a trade superintendent, from plumbing superintendent. I like to hire athletes. That's my first question that I ask in interviews is, did you play sports in high school? Yeah. And those are the guys I'm targeting, because that's your work ethic, teamwork, discipline. That's everything you need to be successful. It works hand in hand in construction.
I love it. What new tools and technologies that are in play that would allow a team member that comes to PacRim to grow and learn?
Well, I think the most important thing, like with the shop, is we can bring young guys in here, and they can have supervision close at hand, making sure they're working efficiently, teaching them the work ethic, teaching them the tools. They're under supervision at all times, so they're working safely all the time. And it gives them a good stepping stone to transfer to the field someday. So it's been a fantastic training ground. We do trainings off from the other superintendents will come in and use our facilities to train guys as it's set up. So it goes hand in hand from training after hours, and then they go to school, which happens to be right down the street from here, which is really nice for the guys too. So we're strategically located in a perfect spot.
That's great. That's great. Anything else as you think of this shop that you'd like to mention on this podcast?
I think it's just the efficiencies that we're given through the tooling that we have, where all those steps that we had to provide before, like we actually have to do layout and mark pipe, that we don't have to do that anymore. We got the right tools, we got the right computer, the software to push those measurements down. And not only that, with the Stratus software that we have, it also saves time on the detailing side. As we used to have to dimension everything by hand, and now it's done automatically. So if we have the right parts and pieces, Greg coming in and going through our whole database and reprogramming that to the right dimensions per the catalogs and double checking that was the start, is making sure we had the database correct to make sure the measurements were coming out into the field so we wouldn't have any mistakes on cuts. And that's the huge pickup in efficiency.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, Brian. It's all about quality, safety primarily, quality, efficiency, and this is just a remarkable step forward for the company. I want to just on air say a huge thank you to you. You were so instrumental in picking this building, in thinking about how the shop is laid out, working with the team, and what a result. This place is world class, and I'm so thrilled to share it with the industry and be able to have this time with you. So thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. It's one of my biggest accomplishments in the company's history for me. Great. So I feel great about it. I think you go out there and you look at the guys that are working, they all have a smile on their face. They love it. Yeah. So that's all
compared to where they were before.
If they're happy, they're getting stuff done, and they're having a good day, and they go home and they want to come to work in the morning. I think there's a big difference with people. Like, you ask yourself a question in the morning, right? I have to go to work today, or I'm ready to go to work today. I get to go to work today, right? Yeah. And I still wake up every morning at 3:30, and I love it.
Yep, that's great. Well, thank you again, Brian.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody for watching. What a remarkable time for the company and remarkable facility. We really appreciate your time and hope you've been inspired and are motivated to continue working at PacRim or work with PacRim. And I can't wait to show you this prefab shop in person. So thanks a lot.